Hey YouTube, I'm Mars1952 and I'm working on my Ranger again. This thing sits for long periods of time and the battery tends to run down, so I took steps to prevent that. There's a slight drain in the electrical system. I haven't been able to find it. So I put in a battery isolator like this one. It's exactly like that one. Got this at Advanced Auto Parts. And bypass the negative wire on the battery. So I could turn it off, isolate the battery while it was sitting. And on top of that I put a small solar charger on it to keep it topped off. But the battery isolator failed, so I'm going to have to take it out, and I thought this would be an opportunity to show you how I put it in. Okay, so here is the battery. I put in an Odyssey battery. This is a PC925, I think. You can see that. PC925. Right here. I had to notch out the case just a little bit to make room for the wires, and then I took the negative wire here, ran it to the switch, and then ran it back to the ground. This is where the negative was grounded originally. Actually, no, this came around and bolted to there. So you can see a mouse got in here. I have constant mouse problems. I put out bait, but they ate it all. So anyway, this goes under the dash. I'll go show you that. Alright, so here you can see where I installed it. Came up right through the dash, and just when you want it to be turned off, just that thing comes right out, and you take that with you. But it's failed. The switch itself has failed. I haven't tried to fix it. So when I put this in, I think that was a 1/2 inch spade bit. I don't know, it looks a little bit bigger. It might have been a 3/4 inch. You'll just have to measure it and see. I'm out in the field and I can't measure it. And then a couple little bolts to hold it in place. So let's try to take that apart. Alright, so we're recording. See, it didn't come with any screws to hold it in place. You get 2 of the key paddles with it. And here it is. And I just fastened into 2 of these rivets that hold it together. I guess if I was smart, I would have drilled those holes big enough through the dash and found screws that meshed that I could bite into those rivets. That way I could, it would have been fastened straight from the top, but I did not. I ran the bolts all the way through. So let's see if I can get those out. And to get them off, it's darn difficult because I've got to reach through the window. And I reach around. How did I do that before? It's a hell of a reach. I'll take the negative wire first. Okay, one other thing. Since the switch was ruined, or not ruined, it wouldn't work, I was stuck out in the field and I grabbed a piece of baling wire and short-circuited across here so that to bypass the switch so I could get it started. Then, in the meantime, until I bought the switch, I took a piece of solid copper wire and short-circuited there. Drop the washer. All right. I think the cows want to be fed. All right, so hopefully that's 10 millimeter up in there too. It's been a while since I put this in. Okay, after a great deal of trouble, I got it unbolted. I'm going to take it out now. Let's see what's in the way. I put it in this way with the cables bolted to it. Now this is obviously different than the new one. Maybe this is a better manufacturer. Hopefully the holes are the same distance apart. You can always re-drill them, I guess. Okay, so these are just short pieces of battery cable that I bought at Advanced Auto Parts. Actually, it was one battery cable, now that I think about it. And I measured it off and cut the ends off and put new connectors on there. One of these is slightly longer because as you turn it to make it neat to go around the corner, one has to be longer. And the ends for these big posts, I had to drill the ends out with a step drill. This, the one I bought here, if I can find the number, probably tore it up. It's a 300 amp cutoff switch. It's undoubtedly bigger than this one. Hopefully the bolts are not bigger. So you can see where I've enlarged those holes. Quite a bit bigger. The posts are the same size, the nuts are just bigger. Now, what did I do with that thing? See, I was going to take this this home and find the right size screw to go down through here. See, this just barely fits. That's a little bit bigger. I'm going to have to bring a selection, I guess. So instead of bolting this down through the dash with nuts to chase up there, I had it in there like this before. It was just a bitch to get those back out. I'm going to screw this, just run a screw down through here into this rivet. And I'll size the screw so it just grabs it nicely. It doesn't have to be terribly strong. In the meantime, until I can go get screws. Of course, I thought I'd be able to finish this video today, but I guess not. I'll just hook this thing up under the dash. It'll still work. Too long. Now I don't know what you're going to end up getting as far as a switch. If you get this same one, it might be the same. These are 11/16 or 17 millimeter. Seems to work on them. This snug goes down. And it's going to go like that. Okay, so now I'll get the right screws to hold it in place, and I'll bring my drill with me, just in case that doesn't want to line up. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, the holes are not going to line up. I might be able to just skew it a little bit. I'll have to loosen it. Anyway, that'll work. I wonder if the old key works in this. The old key seems to work. See if it'll start up. Okay, you can see it starts, but when you flip this switch, that's it. So that acts sort of like a poor man's security device. One more thing that somebody has to get hooked up to get the thing running to see if they can steal it. Alright, we get those screws and I'll continue. Alright, this is the dead switch, the non-operable switch. I'm going to try to drill these rivets out. They don't seem to want to come out though. They spin. There's one of them. There's the inside of it. It's a little bit corroded. That could probably be cleaned up and made to work again. I'm surprised it quit working, actually. This is the new battery isolator. It's got 4 rivets in it, so I can drill out 2 without it coming apart. I'm tempted to drill out all 4 of them so I can put dielectric grease on this thing. Maybe it'll last a little bit longer. See, it spins freely in there, darn it. Nice if it's drilled out, but it's not cooperating. So I've weakened it. Now I'm trying to lever it, bend the little pieces back with the screwdriver. If I had a smaller T-nut, I could have just shoved that down in and around the rivet, but I don't have one. I shoved it through the rivet, I mean. Shit. Alright, finally out of there. There it goes. Alright, so I've taken out 2 rivets. Now I'm going to press in using my ratchet. I'm going to press in these T-nuts. I didn't drill out the holes. Yep, I got to drill out the holes. Forgot that step. Turn it down to low. It is on low. Okay, holes are drilled. Alright, so the bolts or screws are bottomed out against the T-nut. The T-nut is dug in enough to hold it in place and keep it from spinning. So it's time to install this. Just back these screws out. This is a disassembled battery isolator. Measure this diameter here, drill a hole in the dash appropriate to the diameter, and then put it in upside down. Use the battery isolator as a template for drilling the holes to bolt it in place. That's what I did with this one. Alright, so the hole in the dash is right there, and I bolted the battery cables onto there. Now there's a bunch of hardware in the way back here, and I can't push it straight up into the hole. Get a little bit of an angle. This one's a little bigger than the other one, but it'll go up in there with a little persuasion. So I'm going to take a pry bar, pry it up in there. Okay. Alright, it's up in there. Let's go around and bolt it in place. So, I shoved it up in there from underneath and try to line it up with the holes a little bit by turning it with the key. And just bolt her in place. This is a little bit easier than when I put it in before with bolts and nuts. The nuts were underneath, I had to reach around. I don't think my arms are long enough anymore. Alright, snug. I got the key. There's no key in there, so I should have nothing. Nothing. Just turn the key. Oh, put the foot on the brake. Get start. Take the key out. Nothing. Okay, that's all there is to it.